Let me start with a simple question. How many people do you know who wake up every morning already tired? Not because the work is hard, not because they lack discipline, but because the work has no meaning. We are told to be grateful for having a job, any job, and gratitude matters. Survival matters. But here's the uncomfortable truth. A job that pays the bills but drains the soul comes with a hidden cost. So today we're not asking whether work should be easy or fun. We're asking something far more important. Is having a job we love a right or a privilege reserved for a few? If loving your work is a privilege, then only the lucky get to live fully. But if it's a right, then the system, the culture, and leadership are failing millions of people every single day. This question matters because people don't quit jobs. They quit meaning. They don't burn out from doing too much. They burn out from doing too little that matters. When people are disconnected from their work, companies suffer. Families suffer. Societies suffer. So the real urgency is this. What happens to the world when most people spend most of their lives doing work they don't care about? That's what we're here to confront. Not with blame, but with responsibility. Not with entitlement, but with courage. Because the future of work isn't about perks, salaries, or titles. It's about purpose, dignity, and belonging. And whether we treat meaningful work as a luxury or as something every human being deserves, we are often taught that gratitude is the highest virtue. And it is, but only when it is genuine. Too often, gratitude is weaponized to silence dissatisfaction. Be thankful you have a job, we are told, as if the very act of showing up should erase the deep emptiness many feel. For men, who are frequently conditioned to measure success by achievement, this creates an internal conflict. They are grateful for stability, yet restless in their hearts, sensing that survival alone cannot satisfy the deeper need for purpose. Gratitude becomes a mask that hides unspoken frustration, and men struggle silently with the tension between appreciation and aspiration. For women observing or sharing life with these men, the effect is palpable. They see men who are physically present but emotionally distant, drained by tasks that feel meaningless. The psychological pressure to appear content, to embody gratitude, can prevent men from expressing dissatisfaction, leading to silent resentment. And when dissatisfaction is hidden, it festers. It is not laziness nor ingratitude. It is a profound human need left unaddressed. Women often intuitively sense this misalignment and may feel helpless, witnessing potential untapped, dreams deferred, and energy wasted in environments that demand obedience over engagement. Gratitude should never be a substitute for fulfillment. It should not be used as a justification for compromising one's sense of purpose or for accepting work that diminishes identity. Men who suppress dissatisfaction risk disconnecting from themselves, their partners, and their communities. Their internal dialogue, the I should be happy versus I am unfulfilled, can become a constant battle. Women, in turn, can experience frustration, longing, and concern for the men they love, recognizing that what is externally stable may internally feel hollow. This dynamic shapes relationships, performance, and self-worth, and yet it remains largely invisible in conversations about work, responsibility, and life satisfaction. Survival is the baseline, but fulfillment is the summit. Too often, men are conditioned to equate providing with living fully. A paycheck, a title, a routine, these are marks of survival, and society applauds them. Yet survival alone rarely inspires passion, loyalty, or deep satisfaction. Men may go to work, earn, and return home each day, thinking that stability is enough, while their inner life quietly withers. The sense that life is passing by without meaning creates an invisible burden that cannot be remedied by financial security alone. For women observing these men, the distinction is often painfully clear. They witness partners who are present physically but absent emotionally, engaged in tasks that feel necessary but not significant. The contrast between what is being achieved externally and what is experienced internally can create tension in relationships. Women often sense the quiet dissatisfaction men carry, the subtle disengagement that survival can't hide, and the longing for purpose that can't be substituted with comfort or routine. Their empathy amplifies the pressure on men, highlighting the gap between merely existing and truly living. Men who settle for survival risk sacrificing identity and joy. They are praised for their reliability, but may feel unseen for their potential. This psychological friction between duty and desire, between what is expected and what is wanted, breeds restlessness. Gratitude for survival becomes a double-edged sword, necessary but insufficient. It can quiet voices that yearn to contribute meaningfully, to create impact beyond obligations, and to experience work as an extension of personal values. Women, Witnessing this struggle may feel both admiration for the efforts made and sorrow for the opportunities never pursued. The tension underscores a universal truth. Fulfillment cannot be bought, it cannot be assigned, and it cannot be postponed indefinitely without cost. Money pays the bills, but meaning pays the soul. Many men have been taught to measure success by the size of their paycheck, the stability of their role, or the accolades they accumulate. And yet, when the work lacks purpose, even the highest salary feels hollow. Men often experience a quiet emptiness, a nagging sense that what they do day after day is not aligned with who they are or who they aspire to be. Compensation becomes a transaction, not a fulfillment. And the psychological weight of this misalignment accumulates in ways that cannot be quantified. Women, observing or sharing life with these men, notice the subtle signs of disengagement. They see men arriving home physically intact but emotionally drained, conversations dominated by obligations rather than curiosity or excitement. The frustration isn't just theirs, it belongs to the men themselves, who feel trapped in roles that provide security but not significance. Women often intuitively sense this gap, recognizing that the work may support life materially but starves it spiritually. This disconnect influences relationships, intimacy, and communication, revealing that what is externally adequate can internally feel insufficient. Men who find meaning in their work, on the other hand, experience an energy that cannot be bought. It drives creativity, resilience, and commitment beyond contractual obligations. The sense of contributing to something larger than oneself transforms work from a chore into a calling. Yet meaning is rarely handed down. It must be cultivated, sought after, and nurtured. Women, witnessing men who pursue purposeful work, often see a shift not only in professional engagement, but in personal presence. The energy, focus, and authenticity that come from meaningful work radiate outward, influencing families, friendships, and communities, proving that true compensation is never measured in dollars, but in alignment between what one does and why one does it. Purpose is the invisible engine that drives performance. Men often believe that effort alone guarantees results, that showing up and working hard is enough, yet the truth is far more nuanced. Without a clear sense of purpose, even the most disciplined man can find his energy dwindling, his focus slipping, and his motivation eroding. The tasks that once felt manageable or even rewarding become monotonous, and performance suffers. Not because of lack of skill, but because the heart is not engaged. Women observing these men notice the subtle consequences. They see partners who arrive home tired in ways that feel deeper than physical exhaustion. Conversations are shorter, humor is dimmed, and enthusiasm for shared experiences wanes. Purpose may be invisible in a job description, but its absence is palpable in daily life. Women often intuitively understand that performance is not just about output, it is about engagement, vision, and the alignment between inner values and outward action. They sense when men are functioning on autopilot, and the frustration that comes with it can ripple through the relationship, affecting intimacy, connection, and shared goals. Men who connect with meaningful work, by contrast, operate on a different level. When the why behind their actions is clear, effort is multiplied, creativity flows, and resilience strengthens. Challenges are approached with curiosity instead of dread, and setbacks are navigated with purpose rather than resignation. Women, witnessing this engagement, often see a transformation not just in results, but in demeanor, confidence, and presence. Performance becomes a reflection of internal alignment, a signal that work is no longer merely a requirement, but a platform for contribution. The absence of purpose, conversely, corrodes potential, proving that what is accomplished is always tethered to why it is done and who is doing it. Leadership is not about authority, it is about the ripple effect of every decision on human lives. Men often enter the workforce believing that jobs are fixed structures, that their role is to fit into the system and perform. Yet the truth is that the design of work, the culture around it, and the vision communicated by leaders directly shape engagement, fulfillment, and identity. A job is rarely neutral. It either fuels purpose or drains it, and men are profoundly affected by whether their leaders inspire trust, clarity, and autonomy, or demand compliance without context. Women witness this impact intimately. They see men returning home exhausted, frustrated, or disengaged, not because of a lack of ability, but because leadership failed to provide meaning. The structure of work and the expectations set by leaders can either amplify a man's strengths or suppress them entirely. When men are positioned merely as cogs in a machine, women sense the loss in energy and the erosion of confidence. They see potential untapped, ideas unspoken, and drive unfulfilled. The consequences ripple beyond the office, influencing relationships, emotional availability, and even parenting, as men carry home the subtle weight of work that feels meaningless. The presence of inspired leadership, however, transforms everything. Men who feel understood, trusted, and valued by leaders approach their roles differently. They take initiative, innovate, and invest more than just hours. They invest their identity. A leader who communicates purpose, who designs roles around human strengths and aspirations, creates an environment where men can flourish. Women, in turn, observe these transformations in demeanor, resilience, and presence. The sense of pride and engagement men feel in meaningful work manifests at home, strengthening bonds and fostering shared optimism. Ultimately, the truth is stark. A leader's vision and values are inseparable from the lives of those they lead. Jobs are not isolated tasks. They are a reflection of human dignity and potential. When leadership shapes work thoughtfully, men feel empowered, relationships thrive, and communities benefit. When leadership ignores the human element, fulfillment is sacrificed, and the psychological cost is invisible, yet profound, leaving men and women alike to navigate the consequences of work that undervalues the very people it relies upon. Love for work is not something that happens by accident. It is cultivated intentionally. Many men enter the workforce believing that passion should magically appear, that if they simply work hard enough or achieve enough, love for their role will follow. The reality is far more complex. Men's psychology thrives on progress, mastery, and recognition, but without deliberate effort to connect daily tasks to deeper purpose, enthusiasm dwindles. Work that feels imposed, repetitive, or misaligned with personal values erodes engagement over time, leaving men grateful for employment but yearning for fulfillment. Women often witness this struggle closely. They see men who are competent and capable, yet lack joy or energy for the work they do. Conversations about career satisfaction may be sparse or superficial because men feel pressured to appear content. The unspoken tension grows, affecting emotional availability, thank you, and connection at home. Women sense the difference between someone who works with purpose and someone who merely endures. The absence of genuine engagement in work resonates in relationships, subtly influencing intimacy, communication, and shared ambitions. Building love for work requires reflection, courage, and often experimentation. Men must identify the aspects of their roles that align with personal values, where effort creates tangible impact or contributes to something greater than themselves. It is about recognizing agency, even in small tasks, finding ways to innovate and celebrating progress, not just outcomes. Women, when they support and encourage this process, can play a transformative role, offering insight, accountability, and empathy, helping men articulate what truly motivates them and honoring the journey of engagement. The act of cultivating love for work is not passive. It demands conscious choices and ongoing adjustments. Men who invest in shaping their experience, through learning, seeking mentorship, or redefining how they approach challenges, discover that fulfillment grows from action, not from expectation. Over time, work becomes a source of energy rather than drain, a platform for growth rather than obligation. Women, observing these changes, notice a shift in presence, confidence, and enthusiasm that extends far beyond the workplace, enriching family life, friendships, and community interactions. The truth is that love for what we do is an architecture we build, brick by brick, choice by choice. It cannot be handed down, promised, or inherited. It emerges when men confront their work honestly, align it with purpose, and consistently nurture the connection between effort and meaning. Women, partners, and colleagues all witness the transformation, experiencing the ripple effects of work that inspires, energizes, and fulfills the human spirit.